Ashley, hi, my gorgeous Gemini. Thank you for joining me. We're going to get started in the next couple of minutes. And hello to all of the listeners out there, to those who are not able to listen live. Welcome to Auntie Derek's Daytime Tea. And today is Wednesday, October 23rd. And I want to thank you for your support. Like I said, if it wasn't for you listening, supporting me, there was no show. So thank you all so much for your support. I really, really appreciate it. Even if you're not able to join live, if you're listening later, I appreciate you too. Hello, Queen of Happiness. Like I was just saying to Ashley, we're gonna get started in a couple of minutes. And we have what I think is some good tea today, so I'm sure y'all will enjoy it. Oh, yes. Well, thank you so much for squeezing me in between your meetings, honey. I know you have so many meetings in a day, so you being here to support it means more than you can imagine. And I'm currently on cup number 3 of some coffee today. Not that I'm tired or anything. I just really love the way coffee tastes. Chili, my favorite nurse. Hi, my love.
Hello, Auntie. Hey, Happy. Hey, Ashley.
So I said we'll get started in about the next minute. Then I'll just go through the sherry tea. Then we'll get to the tea time, honey. He said you will love properly prepared Ethiopia. Oh, no, not happy coming for me. Don't you come for me in my own show. Don't you come for me in my own show. Y'all are not gonna let me live them roasted coffee beans down, honey.
Never.
Y'all better drag me and my mama. 'Cause both of us up in there sitting.
Oh my gosh. And they have to keep adding water and adding water. Like,
So for those who don't know what I'm referring to, so some time ago, a friend of the family gave my mother now some Ethiopian coffee beans to try. And what she said to do with them, she said to roast them before we like prepare our coffee and stuff. So I was at my mom's house at the time. And for some reason, my mom and I, we both had the idea that roasting coffee means to take a few of those coffee beans and boiling it in a pot of water. So as we were boiling it, now the water itself was turning black. It looked coffee like, but we noticed that that water kept evaporating. So we were like, oh, well, maybe we should just add some more water. Then we learned that they meant to roast them in the oven. So both me and my mama looked crazy.
them. They left out all the pertinent points.
My bad.
Oh, we laughed for a minute behind that.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get through the sherry stuff and get it out the way. So she wore a cute little blue number in her show today. I took a picture for y'all with a cute pair of blue heels. And if you'll notice, you'll see on her, it looks like her right foot. No, I'm sorry, that's her left foot. She has a bandage on under that heel. You may have to zoom in to see it. But she
Mhm.
was telling everybody when the show started how she tripped and hurt her foot and her brownstone.
Mm.
Yeah, and she said, she was talking about like with her diabetes and stuff, she want to make sure that she takes care of the wounds that she gets.
Right.
She said, now one thing she said was very interesting. She said that she used peroxide and honey for the wound, and she learned about the honey from a doctor in LA. So I had to look this up. I did not know that that was actually they have medicinal honey that is used to cleanse wounds. So it has like antibacterial effects and stuff. And
Yep.
John Murray, yep, tea tree oil too happy. John Murray, he had to make a disclaimer. He was like, "Look, Sherry is not a doctor, so you consult with your doctor before you try to use honey on anything." But chill, as a nurse, have you ever heard that like in your profession, people using honey to cleanse wounds?
Yes. We never
Th-
used it. They tend to do this on wounds that won't heal on their own. And I mean, she's the diabetic. She knows her body better than I do. Like, typically, if you don't have circulation problems, you can just clean the wound and cover it. But if you do have circulation problems and slow healing wounds, then you would turn to um, things like that. We personally never used it. I've seen maggots used.
I'm sorry, maggots.
Hmm. People have
Really?
deep decubitus wounds, and they eat the dead tissue to get down to the clean tissue because it's hard to do without taking them to surgery to because eventually that's how the wounds get so deep. People in the nursing home might have those big beds, well, y'all call them bed sores. We call them decubitus ulcers, and they'll put maggots in there to eat away the dead flesh, and then they're sterilized and everything before you put them on there. I've seen leeches used to, like when they
N-
sew your finger back on to keep the blood supply going. They'll put a leech on your finger or something like that.
Now
You
I
know,
do remember hearing about leeches. I remember they like that was an older method, like, especially when they were using it to suck out bad blood in people's bodies. I read about that, but I didn't know anything about honey or maggots. Wow.
yeah, yeah. I've personally never seen the maggot method. I mean, the honey method, but I've read that it's been, it's used extensively by some people. But like I said, just to put it on just a fresh cut, unless you have a problem, I don't know that that would be the correct application for it.
Yeah.
But she knows her body better, so I can't really say.
Yeah, but she looks cute today. Her stylist got it right today. She looks cute. The wig is wigging. I like that
Yeah,
little blue number she has on.
it's
Uh,
plain, but it's cute. I mean, it's
mm,
fitting, and.
Yep. Then she went on to talk about Sunday's episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac, and she brought up how the newest member of the show, Stacey Rush, she's actually separated from her husband. They're not fully divorced yet, but they're separated and they still live together. And Stacey is actually dating. She's dating a man named TJ, who, believe it or not, does not want to have sex until marriage. Y'all heard that right. This man who's dating a married woman does not want to have sex with her until they get married.
Saw that clip.
Yep. And Sherry said, because of her personal beliefs and her religious background, she does believe in the waiting period. And then she said she believes that she only got married to her first husband because she was horny. So,
Well, she is still married. I mean, she's only separated. I don't blame him for not wanting to get involved.
yeah. This is why I stay out of straight people business, honey. That's a mess.
Well, it's so different from most men, but I mean, I don't see a problem with it that he would,
Yeah.
you know, n- not have sex with her until he feels the time is right. Every man isn't a horn dog. Most men are, but
Got-
not every man.
Look, I'm like Patrice from Coming to America. Yes, they are. They just don't admit it. Snap.
You think you're putting on for the show?
Absolutely. Yes. And that's just I personally I don't. But then again, I live a whole different life. I've never believed in waiting. So I like to get it out the way first, just so I can see if we gonna move forward or not. Because if to me, if the sexual chemistry is not there, that opens the door for infidelity. I could be wrong, but that's just how I feel personally.
Disappointment and all of that.
Hello. And then her hot topics, where she really didn't talk about much in her hot topic segment. And then the stories that she did talk about, she kind of dwelled on it for a little bit. But then she went on to talk about Halle Bailey. And Bailey said in the Snapchat video, she said a lot of fans coming up to her often and tell her that, "Oh my God, you're so much prettier in person." And she was like, "Well, why do they keep saying that? Do I take ugly pictures?"
Well, yes. Hi, Chris.
Hey, Chris, the only Capricorn who don't scare me. Well, excuse me, let me rephrase. The only Capricorn man who don't scare me. The women are cool. It's just the men be on. That's another story for another time. So, and today Sherry had as a guest, she had Jennifer Hudson come on. It was a really, really, really good interview. And I just love how they call themselves Sisters in Daytime. Both of them are from Chicago, and they were kind of just talking about the fact that they are both from Chicago and they both have talk shows. And Jennifer, she looked cute, so cute. I just shared a picture. She looks cute in that black dress. And she was talking about her show, her holiday album, and she's about to go on tour, on a mini tour with this holiday album.
Mm. Where's Will?
Right, let's talk about her before we'll get here, because you know we're not gonna hear the end of it.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, and you're absolutely right. Daytime show cross promotion happy, but this is actually not the first time that they've been on each other's show. Sherry has actually been on Jennifer's show, and Sherry even talked about Jennifer's spirit tone. I know y'all have seen the viral videos of when Jennifer's guests come in, her staff, they
Yeah,
hype them up in that Soul Train line.
I think that's cute. The
It
way.
is, it's really cute. So, y'all know that Jennifer Hudson is the youngest EGOT winner. And for those who don't know what an EGOT is, that's an Emmy, Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. Jennifer Hudson has four. And then, because I remember once upon a time, I think Whoopi Goldberg was the only black woman with an EGOT. And so now it's Jennifer Hudson as well. I know John Legend has one too. So if I'm not mistaken, I'll look it up, but I believe that John Legend, Whoopi Goldberg, and Jennifer Hudson are the only three black people who have EGOTs.
Oh, okay.
And Jennifer, she talked about how she kind of struggles to keep her composure when someone who she's a big fan of comes on the show. She has to interview them, but she has to remind herself, be like, "Okay, girl, you a host now, so get it together." And she said, spirit tunnels are there to celebrate the guests. That's why she calls it the happy place. And happy, I personally think you need to send a cease and desist because they playing in your face. It's only one happy place, and that's Chad Mosa.
And the new show with Reba that's running Happy's Bar and whatever that is. She's.
Oh,
Have you
happy girl,
seen
you
it?
better get your turners on the line.
Yeah, that just previewed. I think last week on NBC called Happy's. Reba
Mm,
McIntyre legacy.
yes, and the lady who played I believe she's in it. The lady who played Barbara Jean in her old show
Mm-hmm.
Reba. She's in
Yeah.
this new show as well. I thought that was cute. I saw the preview.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer also went on to talk about how she doesn't cook anything. She's not really a cook. She said her son is the cooker, which I thought was interesting. And even her boyfriend Common, he don't cook nothing. Those were her words. And
But
then
when
Sherry Shepherd had Jennifer sing happy birthday to her stylist, Willie Sinclair III. And I looked at him, I said, "Oh, okay, so you the culprit." Hmm. So that was cute. That was a really cute interview. I'm sure y'all can find it on YouTube if y'all want to see it. And then one of the last things I have about the Sherry show, there was a young man, a 12-year old named Max, who runs the organization Max Out for Pink. And Max was actually able to raise over $17,000 for breast cancer research. And this was due to an organization he started when he was 9 years old, and he started it because his mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. So I just thought that was great. And that's Max and his mom there talking to Sherry.
Very nice.
I thought that was too cute.
Kids gonna be all right.
Yes, they are. And if y'all want to click on slide 2 to go to Sherry's site and register for the Real Good Time giveaway for the trip she's giving away to Savannah, Georgia, she's she's gonna ask you for the word of the day, and the word of the day is explore. So EXPLORE. And then after this, it just had like some fillers in there. She showed videos of kids being mean to their parents and stuff like that. I don't think that mess is cute. I don't like it. I
Mm-mm-mm.
I'm not a fan. And then she had one of the audience guests play a game and stuff. So it was just some filler stuff until the show went off. But really good episode today of Sherry. All right, so Sherry tea is done. So it's time for some tea.
Tea time.
Yes. So we of course we always like to start with some Diddy news. Well, the latest Diddy news. I'm going to share this article here from the Daily Beast. So Diddy's legal team is writing to the judge on his behalf saying that Diddy is actually getting an unfair trial. And this article says, and I quote, what says, Combs' legal team wrote to Judge Arun Subramanian saying that Combs' right to a fair trial was being compromised and that prospective witnesses and their lawyers have made numerous inflammatory extrajudicial, ooh, that's a tongue twister, extrajudicial statements aimed at assassinating Mr. Combs' character in the press. The letter cites several examples of what it says are examples of unfair media coverage, including coverage on NBC, CBS, and ABC. It goes on to state some even have peddled in outlandish conspiracy theories, like see, for example, Tom Spike, Diddy Spike baby oil with date rape drug. Um, the accuser's lawyer claiming that based on her research, quote unquote, baby oil could be used as a conduit for the date rape drugs such as GHB or Rohypnol. Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Oh, Rohypnol. And it says the Daily Beast contacted Combs' legal team for comment before reporting claims made by an alleged victim in the papers filed with the court. The allegations were horrendous, but we only received a boilerplate reply in response. The Combs legal team have said that their new request is time sensitive and asked for a response by October 30th, noting that each day that passes brings a fresh new wave of publicity, often at the direction of accusers and their counsel, further prejudicing Mr. Combs' right to a fair trial. So yeah, I will say that's money well spent for them lawyers. They doing exactly what they're supposed to do.
But can they stop it? I mean,
I don't think so.
the lawyers are just saying what's coming forward. They aren't naming anyone. They're just naming the people that are coming forward. I mean, even if he was out on bail or whatever, I mean, it would still happen. Just like with Jeffrey Epstein, and he got worldwide, I mean, nationwide coverage. He's a
He did.
celebrity. What does he expect?
He did indeed. Yep.
So,
Oh, my favorite tourist is here. I'm so glad we finished talking about Jennifer Hudson.
I'm going to tattle. He's, she's going on tour with her Christmas album. Well,
Jingle bell.
I knew he was going to do that. Little mini tour, spread Christmas cheer.
Good
And
morning,
the next
good
thing,
afternoon, everyone.
good morning, good afternoon. I think it's still morning for you where you are. And the next thing I have for y'all, see, and y'all probably have seen this already, but his Quincy, along with his brothers and sisters, released another statement on his Instagram page. And the caption says, so this is a really, really nice picture of the family.
Hmm.
And it says, this past month has devastated our family. Many have judged both him and us based on accusations, conspiracy theories, and false narratives that have spiraled into absurdity on social media. We stand united, supporting you every step of the way. We hold on to the truth, knowing it will prevail, and nothing will break the strength of our family. We miss you and love you, Dad.
That's
Mm-mm.
that's nice.
Right. And then gonna have a nerve to say, and y'all probably say I'm not even gonna share it 'cause I just thought it was just too egregious. So now he's doing a new talk, not a talk show, but a reality show,
Who,
and it's
Quincy?
yes, honey. The trailer just dropped, I believe last night, and it's
Mm,
the show is gonna be called Just a Vlog.
okay.
Now, someone that I follow, he actually made a really, really good point, and I wanted to share. I giggled at the tweet, but he's absolutely right. So, and I'm gonna share. Will, you better throw them tomatoes. So I don't know if y'all can see this post here, but it
Mm-hmm.
says
Yeah.
he retweets them because he retweeted the video, the preview of that new reality show that's coming out, and he says these niggas need the money. This trial is about to break Diddy. Their lives are about to change, and none of them have any skills for employment that we can see. I also think that's why Quincy is supporting Diddy. He's depending on him for money. The part that
Ouch.
made me giggle, when he said, and none of them have skills for employment that we can see.
Well, he didn't lie.
He's not wrong. With the exception of the girls, we have seen them on. Well, I have seen them attempt at modeling or finding a
Hmm.
walk, but the
Oh,
rest
they
of them, the clone of Diddy trying to rap, that was a dud. I don't know what Justin does outside of failing college.
Ooh.
Hmm. Quincy Quincy models a little bit here and there, but nobody takes him seriously. Um, but no, sweet potato surprise is absolutely right. You know, like them. That's what happens when these nepo babies, the source of their whoever funds their lifestyle kind of goes under. They have nothing to fall back on. So, I mean,
Hmm.
hate to see it for them. At the same time, sucks to be them.
Yep.
and
And
wouldn't it
Happy, she put in the comment, she said bad timing. And Happy, I agree with you 100%. Like, I don't know why he think, but I guess, like, just like this guy said, that he might need the money.
and wouldn't opportunities dry up just because of the charges of you know their father? Like, who wants to have them walking in a show? You know, uh,
Yep.
especially if it's people he's been blackmailing because we don't know that list yet.
Right.
And we know a lot of these wealthy people are freaks. So yeah,
And believe it or not, this is just my opinion. Y'all may disagree, but Quincy is actually very, very talented. He has a great singing voice, and I like him as an actor. Like, I loved him in the movie Dope, and I thought he did really good in that show Star. So we'll see. What you better throw. Will is giving us ketchup, honey.
you're gonna run out of tomatoes. Keep it up. Yeah, I don't know that any of that really matters now, though.
Yeah. Now the next story I have for you all. Last night was the mid-season finale of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And what we saw, so there was a girl, Jasmine Blue. For those who don't watch the show, Jasmine Blue is the girl who Kirk Frost had the baby with behind Rashida's back,
Right?
and she's the exotic dancer. So she's actually accusing Mendices, who happens to be Yandy Smith's husband. She's accusing him for being friendly with a girl, extra friendly with a girl who works at her club. And they actually kind of touched that on the show last night. Jazz went up to him and was like, "I don't look familiar to you." And he, Yandy was standing right there. And he was like, "Oh no, no, you don't look familiar to me. I just go in there for the drinks. I don't remember no faces." And then another girl came in, was talking about Mendy's because they basically saying that the girl is scared to come forward about the affair, but the affair has been going on for a long time, which I absolutely believe. I definitely believe that affair has been going on for a long time, allegedly.
Well, how are you going? Well, when he said he just going for the drinks, I didn't know he was talking about a strip club. He didn't go in there for the girls, but you going into a strip club just for the drink and not the girls. Not even to say to have an affair, but to look at. I mean, aren't come on, that
Exactly.
that didn't even make sense. Like a bar has drinks. If you didn't want to see girls stripping, come on.
Child.
Both
That,
END and Mendeeses are terrible liars.
Say that again, honey. They
hmm
are,
He
and
tried to
he
buck
kind
up.
of, he especially in that last season, the way he showed his behind, and when it came to Yandy's reproductive rights and stuff, it left a sour taste in my mouth for him. I'm like, send his ass back to jail, honey. I'm sorry, I just didn't like it.
I mean, he might be on that show for a while longer because he got all that restitution to pay back.
Yep, that's okay. I'll continue to hate watch. Now, the next story I have for y'all, of course, it's my man.
50.
Hmm. He actually gave Drake some advice. Oh, it doesn't look like this article is previewing. So I'll just share my screen. Oh no, actually I don't know because it look like this page has a lot of ads going on. And I do not need anything slowing down my process right now. So I'm just gonna read what was said. So he said 50 said he was talking about Drake. He said, I was telling him it's not him. I'm listening on the outskirts. It's not you. Don't let yourself think for a second, he said. Because he's basically talking about he said that Drake is having feelings of him like losing this rap beef. And he said on some real shit, I said they said you lost. Okay, but what did you lose? What exactly did you lose if you got 300 something million on your last tour? You didn't lose a motherfucking thing, man. It says Fifth also revealed that he urged Drake to stay in the studio. If that's the moment, you keep you keep your creative energy in the right place and keep creating, he recalled telling Drake. If you slow down because you feel what the fuck, the resistance will make you feel like your material isn't good. Then you got to figure out how to keep pushing and how to keep creating because that's what it feels like to you at the moment. The shit was good for hip hop. It made both of them create quality material faster. And if anybody knows about a really popular hip hop beat, it's definitely 50, honey. The way he done, I don't want to say obliterated Ja Rule's career, but he definitely made Ja Rule miss out on a lot of opportunity.
I got two words for Ja Rule: Fire Fest. That's all.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Exactly. And he can't blame 50 on that. That was all him.
And he did lose the rap beef. I mean, there's no question there, but doesn't mean he doesn't make music anymore. He has, like he said, all those millions of followers. People still like him. So, like he said, what did you really lose if you can still be successful? What was, what's the point? But he definitely lost the rap beef.
Definitely. And not only do these people follow him, they ready to defend him to the death. And the way I've been cussed out and called a fat bitch and all this,
Mm,
honey, in my mentions because I said something about Drake, I was like, oh,
yeah.
dang. I said, y'all be ready to go to war over this Canadian biracial.
So, 50 told him, right?
Hmm.
A broken clock.
You leave my man alone, okay?
I will not.
He is not a broken clock. He is a grandfather clock, okay?
Mm,
Timeless.
mm.
hmm
Now, baby, this next story I have for y'all, honey. So, y'all, I'm sure y'all familiar with John Lennon and Yoko Ono.
Oh, yeah.
One one of their close friends is actually writing a book or wrote a book about them. His name is Elliot Mintz, and I just shared a People magazine article. And that baby, I'm about to read y'all this little excerpt. So the book itself is called "We All Shine On." I'm sorry, "We All Shine On." John, Yoko, and me. It's out now, and it illustrates that while Lennon and Ono were deeply connected, they also weathered times of discord. Of course, like any marriage, I was like, let me read further to see what's going on. It says the book recounts a story from 1972 when Lennon and Ono were guests at a party where the former Beatles singer got drunk while watching the presidential election results between Richard Nixon and George McGovern in an anti-war activist Jerry Rubin's Greenwich Village apartment. As it became clear that Nixon would win by a landslide, the mood grew grim, writes Mintz. And as his drinking got heavier, Lennon ended up having loud, raucous sex with another woman at the party. Throughout it all, Yoko sat on the sofa in stunned, mortified silence as other guests began awkwardly getting up to leave until they realized their coats were in the bedroom where John was having sex. I was like, whoa. And I have a picture for y'all. Of course, it's an old photo, but of John, Yoko, and this guy Elliot. So that's them right there. And I ain't gonna lie, John Lennon, he got that shit on. I love that outfit he wearing in this photo.
Hmm.
But but yeah, I mean, even it does seem juicy, but not juicy enough for me to go and buy and read that book. No shade.
That's nice.
I don't. There's no surprises there, really. I mean,
It's really not. And then the thing is, because I'm from a generation where the Beatles weren't really. I'm not gonna say popular. We knew who they were, but we really didn't know much about their music, and we damn sure didn't know about John Lennon. I actually found out like about his quote unquote activism as an adult. And so, but then I read a lot of problematic things about him. I was like, oh, wow. So, but yeah, this is not surprising, especially after all that stuff I done read about him. Now, the next story I have for y'all is that people are giving Nicolas Cage a side eye. So I'm sharing this screen. And y'all should see the Atlanta Black Star link I'm sharing. So people are
yes.
saying that his new wife, his fifth wife, and keep in mind, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and his fifth wife is Nicolas Cage's sister. At the most, but she's actually 31 years old, and they have a 2-year-old daughter together. And I'm gonna share. Scroll down to so that way y'all can see what she looks like. Her name
Why would you marry someone that's been married 5 times?
is Rico Shibata. Maybe it's pronounced Rico, but that's the a little bit. Maybe a person that has been married 4 times. I, I,
Ah, just scroll down a little more. The ad is blocking
it's over that. I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing. But yeah, they was on the red carpet and people are giving them a side eye because they think that she looks really, really young and all that jazz and stuff. She can't help how young she looks. And I actually, as somebody who has looked, I'm glad I kind of look a little bit older now, but I spent a large amount of my 20s and 30s of people thinking that I was younger than I really was. And the thing about that is it kind of like makes people not really respect you as much.
it.
So yeah,
Well, she's 31. She can't help it if she looks 18. Good for her.
exactly.
But I
And
wouldn't
girl,
marry somebody that's been married that many times. What the hell?
I say I wouldn't, but I'm saying if that price is right, then I don't know. I might be somebody's fifth boo. I don't know. It depends. It depends on what the finances looking like.
Okay, everybody, but Auntie, take a poll. Would you
That's
marry
a
some?
good.
Yeah,
That
take a
is good.
poll.
I actually want to know. Let me go. I'm gonna do a poll.
Take a poll.
Okay, poll you. And I'm actually gonna do this poll on Twitter too, because I want to see what my followers have to say. Would you marry someone who's been married 4 times? Put married and divorced 4 times. Yes. No.
Dum, 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 dum.
And I think I have a feeling how this poll is gonna go, but it's still fun to look at.
And we know
Oh,
who the yes is.
yep. So yep, just as I thought. So I'm in the minority.
Hmm.
So yeah, after the show, I'm gonna do that same poll on Twitter to see what happens. Now the next story I have for y'all. So it appears now y'all know I don't know nothing about sports ball, but it appears that LeBron James and his son made history last night of being the first father and son duo to play in the game together. However, some people, I'm not gonna say that they hating, but some people shared their opinions about it, and that some people is Charles Barkley, and we know Charles to kind of be very unfiltered. He shares his opinions. He's very direct, and I just shared a link from SportsIllustrated.com. And he says, he said this before the game, and Charles Barkley said, and I quote, "Bronny is a prospect. Number one, I'm glad he's healthy. I think he should be in the G League. He's not ready to play in the NBA right now. He should be in the G League because he's not ready to play in the NBA first and foremost. Secondly, there's going to be some guys coming for his head. He's not ready. He's really a tweener. He's a point guard, two guard. His probably best attribute right now is being a defender. I think to take the pressure off him and let him get better as a player, he should be in the G League."
I agree.
So
Yeah,
did Charles Barkley say that he should be in the G League?
he did. Uh-huh.
Mhm.
He's not the
And
only one.
he's not. And somebody else who shared the same sentiment, believe it or not, was Shaquille O'Neal, was Shaq. But Shaq, he was a little bit nicer about it. And I'm gonna
Bronny,
share this.
Bronny is not good at all. I am so sorry. That nepotism really served him well because if it were on his natural abilities and talent, he just does not have it. If anything, he should be on the bench most of the time.
At most, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just have to take y'all word for it. I don't know a basketball from a baseball, so I don't have I don't know nothing about sports balls to even have an opinion about this. But Shaquille O'Neal, what he says, he was a little bit. He pretty much said the same thing that Charles Barkley said, but he was a little bit nicer about it. And he was saying he's not going to be in the starting lineup. He's probably not going to be in the second lineup. But if I'm him, I'm working somehow to get some type of rotation to get some type of flow. Again, because of his last name, we want him to be great. But as LeBron said, there are 450 of us playing in the NBA, and there are only a few rookies that have come in and had a great impact immediately. I've known the kid for a long time. He works hard and he's willing to learn, so I wish him well. But great accomplishment for the James family.
So, Auntie, for comparisons, Bronny playing basketball is the equivalent of Jennifer Hudspeth's Christmas album. Not good at all.
I said that before they even drafted him that he definitely is a nepotism thing because he barely made it in the draft, and the fact that they kept him on the team, and now he's on the court with his dad. It's like, his record sucked, you know, in his high school years and so forth. So, yeah,
That's good to know.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Shaq though. He needs to stay healthy. Otherwise, I can easily see him getting cut and not being picked up by another formidable basketball team. Being honest.
yeah, he needs to work on his skill. Go
Yeah.
to the G League and get his weight up and get his skills up, and then come back to the NBA because if he gets hurt, it's over.
Yep.
And in the G League, that is, excuse my ignorance, but that is like a preschool for like before people go into the NBA or something like that. Is
It's like the
Yeah.
minor league, like baseball has major league and minor league. There's a
oh
like a training type of league. Hopefully, you make it to the big leagues. You didn't suck enough to not play at all, but
Uh,
we put you over here and see what if you can get your skills up, you might make it to the major leagues one day.
it's a step above playing overseas.
okay. Now y'all remember on Monday I mentioned Martha Stewart where she was on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, and she
Hmm.
was like Snoop Dogg's guest. So she did share an opinion because Andy Cohen actually asked her, "Would you do the Golden Bachelor?" And she quickly said, "Absolutely not." And the guy was Andy was like, "Well, why? Even if you were to get like $1 million per episode?" She was like, "No, because those guys aren't." She said those guys aren't good looking enough. Or basically, I'm paraphrasing, but she was like, "Those guys aren't hot enough." So Joan Vassos, the Golden Bachelorette, she actually defended these guys, and I'm sharing an article with y'all from U.S. Weekly. And y'all see the headline that says Joan Vassos defends Golden Bachelorette men after Martha Stewart diss. And
That's
she
real.
says, and I quote, I'm reading the article, it says, I DM'd her last night. I don't know if she read it yet, but I did. She said, dating is hard out there, and I had a great group of guys. She doesn't know them like I know them, and I got to know the inside of them as well as the outside, and both are wonderful. The team did a great job picking them, what they're about, and their backstories. They're also wonderful. They are there for a reason. When they got out of the limos on the first night, every single one of them did something memorable and made me want to get to know them more. I thought that was nice.
Hmm.
Go ahead, Will.
That's real rich coming from a convicted felon. But I'll leave that alone.
I am gagged, honey. You see, I couldn't even say nothing.
I mean,
Ooh, I am gagged.
if you think about it, any other capacity, having a felony on your record for most people, you can't get a job, you can't vote. You're painted in such a poor light, even if you were one of the few lucky ones to be rehabilitated or choose to be rehabilitated while being incarcerated. However, the white privilege of it all would allow her to make such an asinine statement. It's crazy to me. But yeah, in any other instance, having being a convicted felon would immediately put like a scarlet letter on you, but not for her or anyone of her tax bracket, which is silly.
Nope. We have one running for
You
president, so hey,
wake it up.
she didn't lose a beat. She came right out and still has her Martha Stewart this and Martha Stewart that and commercials and whatever, whatever. She's still okay. So,
Yep, and I remember actually like having a little back and forth with some people on Twitter about that because I forgot how it started, but it had something to do with like Cardi B partnering with Patti LaBelle with her whip shots and stuff like that. And somebody made the comment, it was like, I just don't like how this looks. Like, you Cardi don't. We don't know if she does or not, but they was pretty much saying that Cardi doesn't know anything about Patti LaBelle and this and that. And then somebody was like, "Well, unlikely pairs happen. Like, look at what happened with Martha and Snoop." And I said I don't like how that started in the first place because I just think it had a racist what's the word I'm looking for, connotation. It had like a because how it started with, remember they used to share this meme, and it was Martha and Snoop together, and say, "Look at this photo. Guess who is the convicted felon? You'll never guess who," or something like that. And I thought it was in poor taste. I didn't like it, but they did well with each other. With them. Hey, now the next story I have for y'all, and I'm gonna share my screen again. Hopefully, it does a little bit better because this is page six. So you know those page six previews don't work on chat most for some reason.
If
But
I may,
Jennifer Lopez's ex is talking. Oh, I'm sorry, Will. Did I think I cut you off.
I just had a quick question for you. I was wanting to know what browser you're
Oh,
using. Uh-oh.
Microsoft Edge.
Okay.
So Jennifer Lopez's ex-husband Ojani Noah blames Sean Diddy Combs for their divorce. And move, ho. Okay, this big old ad. Move. Like I know these sites have to pay bills, but good lord, this is ridiculous. So he was a nice looking man too. Says so Jennifer Lopez's ex-husband, Ojani Noah, has partly blamed Sean Diddy Combs for the pair's divorce. During an appearance with Despierta America, Noah lifted the lid on the demise of the pair's short-lived marriage, which lasted from 1997 to 1998. When asked about the pair's breakup, Noah declared part of the divorce was Diddy's fault. So it
Hmm.
goes on to say, and y'all see these pictures of them together. He continued, I was in Los Angeles in New York working on the album. When I could, I would go and be with her. There in the distance, in the separation where the deception started, Noah added about his divorce from the on the floor hit maker. Elsewhere in the so he was and this interview was in Spanish, so it was translated. But it says elsewhere in the interview, Noah alleged that the demise of the park's ill-fated marriage marred his career and sabotaged his chance at several jobs. So that was the thing that I found interesting. Like, dang. So I hate to hear it. So that's that on that. And Charlemagne from the Breakfast Club, he actually sent a cease and desist to Donald Trump. And I'm about to share this article. So this is an article I'm sharing from Yahoo News. So and I don't know if you all have seen it, but what they did was take clips of a Breakfast Club interview to make it seem like they are against there's that narrative going around that Kamala Harris supports trans inmates getting trans surgery
Right.
or kids getting trans surgery and that. So they took clip because what Charlemagne and DJ Envy were doing were basically like reading what people were saying. They in no way supported that at all. But the ad made it look like they took those clips and made it look as if those two radio hosts were pro Trump and against like Kamala because she would allow trans people to get surgeries in jail or whatever. So Charlemagne, he actually sued. He well not sued, but he sent a cease and desist over that. And it says, give me 1 second. Charlemagne said, "Since when does Trump care about what's legal?" He's like, "I
Okay.
tell you what, the ad that they was running during the football games this weekend claiming the vice president supports funded gender transition surgeries for all prison inmates and migrants was nuts." Charlemagne said. I don't know if it was the backdrop of football, but when you hear the narrator say Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners, that one line, I was like, hell no, I don't want my taxpayer dollars going to that. He continued adding, the ad was effective. It literally said that Kamala supports taxpayer funded surgery sex changes for prisoners and talks about how, she supports funding gender transition surgery for all prison inmates and migrants in the United States. That ad was impactful.
Auntie,
So,
they have an ad going on here with Ted Cruz and his opponent, this woman. Now, Ted Cruz didn't approve this ad, but you would never know it with the little quick speech they gave about who did make the ad. That Allred, his opponent, supports gender transformations and showing surgical instruments at your kids' schools. I'm like,
girl.
this is such a blatant, outright, stupid. And are people really falling for this? That you think your kid can get gender surgery reassigned at school?
Hmm. They absolutely are falling for it. And I'm gonna tell you how I know, because they passed legislation, especially in North Carolina, like put making sure that anything that's LGBTQ related does not show up in the classrooms.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, they did that a while ago, before this, race even came around, banning any kind of, rainbow, whatever, whatever. But to get surgically altered at school, Auntie, really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yep.
that
And
is
where
so.
was it? Was it in Philadelphia or Maryland? I can't remember exactly where, but there was a I want to say it's somewhere in Pennsylvania maybe, but they actually put like windows in the bathrooms.
Yeah, I
And I'm
saw
like,
that.
okay, y'all trying to look at kids going to the bathroom. What is going on?
But they're the perverts, but you're not.
Exactly.
Something wrong with them, but you're okay with looking in the window. Okay.
And people are so homophobic and transphobic, they will believe any and everything that helps them justify the way that they feel.
Well, I think they also do those things to secure votes. They don't really give a damn. Honestly, they
Hmm.
use those triggers. And meanwhile, the preachers, the youth pastors, the scout leaders is doing what you think is happening right under your nose, and you sending little Johnny off for a weekend with them, not a thought about it. Okay,
Mm-mm. So, we just gotta have people like us, honey, who speak up against it and stuff, because it's going. It's I don't see it stopping anytime soon.
it won't. But my thought on it is, I mean, Twitter is a huge platform. It has a lot of people here, but there are so many millions more that don't use this platform out there watching Fox News and the like. That sensible information won't reach. You saw what you know Marcia posted earlier. So yeah, um,
Yep.
how much difference can we really make when that's what the news and cycle is showing us?
Yep.
I just thought that ad was just so outrageous. Like, how can they even? First of all, how can they let that be on television when it's such a blatant lie? Why do they let people get away with this in general? Like, why would they allow it when it's a total lie like that? Why would the media do that? Because some fairness, uh, you know, that you can just post anything like that and it be a lie. I, I
It just leaves you speechless. Like it's like,
and like that's what I am. I'm just speechless. Like, how can this happen? But anyway, I don't want to derail the show. Moving right along.
child, please, you can't derail it. Now the next story I have, so I have two more stories, and both of them happen to be from InTouchWeekly.com. So Larry King's ex is in the news, which I thought was interesting. And y'all see this? It says Larry King's widow, Sean King, paying six-figure sum to abuse accuser.
Huh?
Yep. So a friend of Larry's, a close friend, his name was, give me one second and I can tell you, Greg Christensen. Sean, his ex-wife, his widow Sean agreed to pay Greg a total of $185, $185,000 to settle their legal battle. In her filing, Sean said she already sent Greg the money. So it says, as a result, Greg, who produced 35,000 episodes of Larry King Live, will call off of his hearing on attorney fees. But it says, In Touch Weekly previously reported Sean filed a $100 million lawsuit against the business management firm Blauman and Company back in October of 2022. Sean said that she and Larry used the firm for years. The duo wed in 1997 and were close to divorce many times, but were still legally married at the time of Larry's death at 87 in 2019. It says Sean objected to the will that Larry's son, Larry King Jr., submitted in court. However, the parties worked out a private deal to resolve the matter. In her lawsuit, Sean accused the company of conspiring with Larry to transfer millions of dollars in community property to third parties behind her back. Sean claimed Larry, with the help of business managers, created secret bank accounts to help hide the transfers from her. And it says the other defendants to the lawsuit included people Sean believed received money from Larry without her knowing. And one of the people she sued was Greg. She took issue with the $40,000 that Larry sent him. In response, Greg slammed Sean in her lawsuit, and he claimed that Larry sent him the money to help him escape her. So Greg accused Sean of mistreating Larry after his 2019 stroke. He claimed Sean mistreated and abused Larry King in a number of ways, which I personally witnessed when I visited Larry King. Sean King prohibited Larry King from living or sleeping in the main home and forced him to live and sleep only in the back house, which was located behind the home which Larry King purchased. Sean King also deprived Larry King of his wallet and sometimes his phone for extended periods of time, keeping him trapped in the back house. But of course, Sean denied these claims in court.
Hmm.
So let's see. As Larry's health declined, in my opinion, that Greg Christensen and others working with the blown defendants improperly influenced Larry to take action that were not in the best of interests of Larry and his family, including filing for a divorce that Larry never wanted. Sean claims. Greg was able to convince the court to dismiss all claims against him. As a result, he was seeking over $230,000 in attorney fees. So she has to pay 185,000 of that. Little miss. Well, I'm sorry, Will. I mean, Larry King done passed.
I didn't
Yes,
know.
yep, he died in 2019, right before the pandemic.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he was looked like he was laying there asleep. Rest his soul.
That's not- And this last story I had to share with y'all, baby. This is just egregious, but I think y'all would appreciate. I know Happy would definitely appreciate it. And I think you too, Chick, because don't you watch 90 Day Fiance?
She does.
Okay, I knew it was somebody in the group that I know Happy does. I thought it was you too. It might be Marcia,
Used to.
but
I haven't watched it in a long time, but I did used to keep up with it.
okay. Well, baby, I think you'll get a kick out of this story, honey. So, how about one of the people that own that show was diagnosed with gonorrhea,
Uh,
and I just shared, I just shared this this another story from In Touch Weekly, and it says so. This guy, his name is Lauren Allen. And so after traveling thousands of miles to meet his online girlfriend, Faith Goddick, in the Philippines of season 6 of 90 Day Fiance, before the 90 days, Lauren Allen was diagnosed with a sexually transmitted disease. And it's saying, how did he get it? Lauren learned he contracted gonorrhea after receiving a text during his overseas trip. So about a week ago, I was partying out with one of my friends. She spends the night, it's great. And then in the middle of the night, she was like, she wanted to F me. He explains to the producers. And I got a text from her this morning. Turns out she has gonorrhea of the throat, which means I likely have gonorrhea of the penis. He told producers that his penis was upset and was experiencing a little discharge. I'm really nervous to tell Faith about this. I don't know if she fully understands that I haven't been monogamous. I always planned to talking to Faith about having an open relationship once I got to the Philippines, but this probably isn't the best way. And then the article goes into what is gonorrhea and all that. So I think we all know what it is. So
You had
that's just
gonorrhea of the
nasty, honey.
gawk gawk? What the
Go
hell?
ahead, Will.
See, if you're gonna be a hoe, you gotta be a smart hoe, right? They have a such thing as doctors and doxy pep if you're going to be promiscuous, but I'm pretty sure folks in that lifestyle, quote unquote, don't know that that exists. But it's not something that's like not curable. You can get like a shot or some pills, something like that. But still, like if you're gonna be a hoe, be smart about it at least.
They do.
Especially when you have
Um,
someone else to consider when it comes to their health, sexually or otherwise.
they have antibiotic resistant gonorrhea and syphilis going around now, so maybe it won't be so easy. Just depend on what strain you get. That's the thing these days. It's not so easy to cure some cases. So,
Oh, so Happy just added some context in the chat. So it says, so Happy says this American guy from Vegas is homeless, no job, has sex with others every week. That's not going to fly to a Filipino no matter how poor they are. And Faith, the Filipina, is a trans woman, but this Lauren American guy wants to be with trans women who have not fully transitioned. Okay, that's interesting to know, Happy.
I don't know. Remember, Happy, remember the black guy who brought his wife over from the Philippines? They wanted to bring in a third. So, I I don't know if it wouldn't fly with maybe some of them, but they were looking for, a throuple.
Hmm. And Happy said they recently found out they're both bottoms. Oh, that is not gonna work out, hun. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I mean, they
he got
got toys for that, right?
he got what he deserved.
I, I guess. Well, I'm just trying to think. I couldn't. I love my other bottoms as friends. They're my girls. But when it's time to get down to business, like I don't know if I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. But thank you for that, Happy. That was good to know that. So I knew you would know who these people are. I ain't know who the hell it was, but I just saw this news on Google News and wanted to share it with you.
Hmm. 90 days is getting kind of crazy.
Yes.
I mean, they've had gay couples, whatever, but this is definitely something they've never had before. They did have
Mm-mm.
a trans woman on there, but um, she was fully transitioned.
Yeah, and I guess that makes sense. He would want somebody who has not fully transitioned if he's the bottom, honey, because he want to be bent over.
Well, duh.
So
Yes.
I that makes a lot of sense.
He likes to be tickled from the inside, bless his heart.
Yeah. Look, I can't even blame him. I cannot blame him.
But I don't think it's that unusual, really. Is it?
No, no. Mm-mm.
Isn't that what
It's
bisexual people do? All of them are
mm-hmm.
tops, Some of them are bottoms too. So,
Or they succumb to the verse agenda, as Auntie calls it.
Get it out of here. We don't
mm,
want none of that. Mm-mm. That verse is the devil. I'm telling y'all. See, in my day, we had tops and bottoms. So, but I actually know a personal friend of mine in real life, and she actually does not enjoy. She's a trans woman,
mhm.
and she does not enjoy bottoming at all. When she does get down, she prefers the top. So
Mm,
yeah, it's not unusual too.
I didn't think so. So she's not fully transitioned then. Is that what you're saying?
Right, uh-huh. Like
Okay.
they say, she got titties at the top and dick at the bottom.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of some of those people. I forget which platform. I don't know if it was here. Probably it was here because I know it wasn't on Facebook. But they're quite attractive. A lot of them.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, happy. That's not. I won't say it out loud, but that's not unusual. It's like, and you know who else is a famous top? Are y'all familiar with T.S. Madison?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And how she got but before she was T.S. Madison, honey, she was BigDickBitch.com.
Oh Lord.
And
Okay.
honey, she was dicking them down, honey. And I
Hmm.
mean down, honey. That's why her rebrand is something that needs to be studied. Cause baby, that's a whole 180.
Hmm.
But y'all, that was all the tea that I had for y'all today, honey. Now, Will, I'm sorry I have to share some bad news. I had some. I'm getting invited to a homecoming celebration this Friday, so there will not be a show on Friday. We will be back Monday of next week. Yes, I'm so
Uh,
sorry.
gotta wait for
Oh,
the tea.
and yes, and Happy just reminded me. So and now, because I found out we can actually share the some AI will actually generate a summary of what goes on in the daytime tea. So you'll be able to read the summary. I have the summary public, so y'all can read that. And before we head out, did anybody have any tea that they want to discuss or any tea that I may have missed?
I actually have two things. One, I would like the name of the broadcasting company because I would like to make a very strongly worded email about this show in particular, not having shows on Fridays. Um, but no, but on a serious note, I'm not sure if y'all have talked much about the election and politics or what have you. But however, here in Arizona, things have gotten to the point where they have like drones and snipers literally hovering over these ballot boxes that are well the stations where you place the early voting ballots because of everything that happened in 2020 and the place where those ballots are being counted. It looks like Knox. Literally, it's insane out here right now.
Hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Does Atlanta have not Atlanta, excuse me. Does Arizona have early voting going on right now?
Absolutely, I'm a person that did it myself. Yeah, it started
Yes.
earlier this month and all the way up until election day. So they had people out here asking you to fill out a form if you want to early vote, that type of thing. But just to see the complete 180, even 2 years ago when it wasn't a presidential election, like the amount of security precautions they are having to take up until this point because people are fucking stupid and they're willing to do any and everything because they want a certain result that is not in the favor of the majority of Americans. So yeah, I'm not sure if y'all talked about that, but that's something I wanted to bring up.
No, thank you for bringing it up because nope, we did not talk about it. And that is, oof. I saw something. Just I didn't really. I just glanced at it, but it said something about what's her name, Carrie Lake, and
Hmm.
she finally admitted to being able to pass or something like that.
Well, those rich. Hmm,
What we already knew.
Pretty
exactly.
much. And Happy shared some tea in the chat. She said that Apple isn't able to sell enough of the Vision Pro units and could cancel its production by the year end.
Good.
Right. I don't even know why they thought anybody would want that.
Nobody wants that shit.
Not enough people wanted it to keep it alive. That's for sure.
Yeah,
When people started, giving their reviews on it,
it's
I
nuts.
thought the only useful thing I saw in it was for like medical uses where you could look at organs and turn them around and maybe use that as in studying to be a physician. But there are already so many aids to do that, like just to spend all that money on a headset to do it, just none of it makes sense really.
It's not all sustainable, just how the functionality of it. And there's been many cases of folks getting their Vision Pros stolen. Like you become like an easy target to be messed with when you have like that big ass bulky white thing over your eyes,
Right.
and people are wanting to steal it. So I'm actually glad it's gone. I think the company that's really doing something similar correctly at this moment was the partnership between Ray Bans and Meta, I
And
believe.
Meta. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the only like feasible way I see it being used in a positive manner. So I'm hoping they go back to the drawing board and they take look at a similar model, but naturally they can do their own thing because the other Apple. But that Vision Pro was like absolute a terrible idea.
It was, and it's heavy, bulky. Just
Hmm.
people weren't happy with it. A lot of people returned it. It needs to go away.
Happy says you might as well carry those East Standing scooters on your back if you're gonna get that.
Yeah, it's just not ready.
Mhm. Any other tea that y'all have? Well, I'm gonna take that as a no. So again, I thank y'all from the bottom of my heart for y'all support. Like I said, there would not be a show without y'all. I really appreciate you. I will be back on Monday with more tea, probably even more than usual since I have like a few days of tea to catch up on.
You hear that, Will?
I don't want to hear it right now. I just want you to know.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
I don't know, girl. You hear when the Taurus is mad at you, honey, they shut everything down. And I'm speaking from experience. Girl, just a quick story before we go. I will never forget this ugly, ugly man. And I'm not even gonna say his name because this is a recorded line. But when I was in my freshman year of college, this ugly man really wanted to take care of me. He wanted to spend money and stuff like that. And I was so against it because I felt like if he was gonna spend money on me, he was gonna want something in return. And I just was not willing to go there with this person. So I guess he kind of caught on and he kind of realized that something wasn't gonna happen. And baby, he shut that. I was kind of upset. I'm like, dang, I wish I would have kept that. I wish I would have spent some of that money, but baby, he ain't never talked to me a single. He said something to me. It was like, all I've been trying to do is making sure you good for school, making sure you have stuff to school. And I came out smart with. I was like, well, I didn't ask you to do anything for me like that. And he said, thanks for making it clear for me. And that was the last thing that man ever said to me ever in life.
Like bloop, it's over.
I was like, dang.
You kick
We
that
brought those
bag.
garden shears. Yes, we do that. When it's over, it is over. Don't give a fuck who it is. Hello. Goodbye.
So yes, I don't want to lose Will's support. But I love y'all dearly and thank y'all so much for sipping tea with me. And y'all have a great rest of y'all day
Bye,
and great
everybody.
weekend.